kind of windy, but we're gonna have to do it like this because I don't want to go inside. So this video is for the people that if you keep having the same dumb fights with your partner and you just don't know how to change it and it just keeps on going and you just find yourself in the same pattern, this video is for you. I'm Miriam Masip, Commander Mimi on social media, and I teach people how to fight smarter, not harder, okay? So today I am going to walk you through the 4 steps that you need to know to stop the fight and actually start connecting, to switch the script. So most fights actually don't start with words. They start in your head. So that's the first thing that we're going to tackle. And the step 1 is mindful awareness. So this is the Mimi framework. Mimi, Masi. So I call that Mimi because it's just easier to remember, right? M, it's for mindful awareness. I don't know if it has happened to you, but you just start feeling something weird and then you just keep arguing and you know it's this and this and that, and then all of a sudden you're arguing. You didn't even realize, so you stepped on a mine and now you're arguing. So it goes 2 ways. First is just keeping an eye on your body, on your bodily sensations, what your body's telling you, if you're getting triggered or not, just realizing that. Because when you realize that, sometimes we just keep on going and we just pretend it's not there, and it just gets very, very bad pretty soon, and then all of a sudden we're flooded. So really, that moment, it's for us to take that breath, to take the hand out of the fire, rest it, and realize that something's going on. On the other hand, sometimes we're just like in our world on our phone and we're just saying stuff and we don't realize, we don't pay attention to our partner and we're not attuned. Is that exercise of staying connected with our body, with our minds, and staying connected with our partner, which is not always going to happen. You know, we're going to disconnect sometimes. Our brain and our mind we're just going to go somewhere else. So it's that exercise of bringing our attention back to the present moment and what's happening. So first is having that internal body scan. So what is awareness really? Because we can play our attention to different places that they are going to give us information of what is going on. So first is our bodily sensations. If we start feeling our heart racing, that's the first sign, right? Some people start feeling tension. Some people feel it on their jaws. It's in different areas of our body. Our breath, we start breathing a little bit more shallow. So this is a skill. Being mindful is a skill that not everybody has. We haven't developed it because we just, you know, we go busy in our days. So this is a skill, just keeping that mindful awareness in your body. And as soon as you feel it, as soon as you feel something, that's when you gotta take a step. That's when you gotta take a pause and tell your partner, because sometimes what happens is that they're not aware and they also keep on going da 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 da, and you just feel like you're being bombarded by what is this, right? So that is when we have to stop and pause. I need a moment to process this, process my feelings. Sometimes it's even just taking a bathroom break. That helps a lot to my my clients. And another one is our senses. What are we seeing? What are we perceiving? Because sometimes it's not even the thing, is that we're perceiving something that is not there, right? So just keeping that in mind, keeping in mind our thoughts, because sometimes it's not even what they said, is what we thought about what they said, how we're perceiving, how we're appraising it. So it's taking that moment to realize something's going on, something's bothering me right now. Stop. Because then you just keep on going and you just like approach your partner like, no, you said that, you da, 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 da. And you don't even know what you need, and you're just going for it. You're trying to communicate something that, for what? You're not gonna get what you need if you're just trying to like, hey, you did this, and you're just paying attention to what bothered you, but not for what you need. So we really need to stop and know where we are and where we want this conversation to go. And that's the first step. So it's really cutting the pattern to avoid criticism, to avoid contempt, to avoid defensiveness and stonewalling. Like, I don't even know what this is. I'm shutting down. I'm putting my wall up and I'm leaving. Those are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. That's what Dr. Gauman calls them. So that's what we basically have to stop, pause, calm, soothe our nervous system, and be able to approach the conversation knowing what we need. And that's what this whole step is about, is just stepping, being aware of what we feel, what we need, and what's our dream relationship, so that we can ask something more proactive to our partner. And if we reach that point where it's called the window of tolerance, where we're already flooded, we're already upset, we're not going to be effective. Whatever comes out of your mouth is not going to be effective. So that's why it's important to realize that they call it the window of tolerance, because once you reach it, they call it like your lid is just flipped. You're not going to be able to function right. It's like being drunk. Your boss, do you think you can drive? But you might make it to the other side of the road, but you shouldn't really be driving in that moment. So that's what this is. It's being like, am I really effective right now? Because if not, we really have to go to the bathroom and soothe the nervous system down so we can approach this effectively. So I'm feeling something, and I don't even know what I need, what I want from this conversation. I just need them to stop shouting. That's a negative request, so that's still not effective. That's still going to be sensed as an attack. That's still going to be an aggression. So we still haven't done our work. When we're still seeing them as a problem, we want them to stop doing something. We want that's control. So what do I need? Okay, I'm feeling angry. That's information. Usually our feelings give us information about deeper longings, about needs to be what? Respected. So anger, we feel angry usually because we're perceiving something as it's an obstacle to get what we want, and we would just want to. The urge, feelings come with urges. The urge is to attack it or control it. Now, when we are afraid, we're perceiving that we are in danger. Our ego is in danger, our image is in danger, or something that our structure, our safety, something's in danger. And our urge is to either run away or lash out, right? I'm just letting you know that the feelings come with urges, and we just want to do that so bad. But it's like getting bit by a mosquito bite, like a mosquito bites you, and you really want to scratch it. That's the urge that comes with the feelings that we have. But that feeling, that urge, is information that you just got bitten. And really acting out of anger, yelling. Some people say like, oh, I don't want to suppress my feelings, that's bad for you. It is. But that doesn't mean that you get to act them out. Because if you do, I mean, you can. But, scratch that mosquito bite all you want. It's just going to make it worse. It's not going to be constructive. What you want is you want it to soothe. You want it to go away. So what's more constructive is to actually go get the little lotion balm to make it calm and not scratch it. So this is the same with feelings. You get that feeling, you get that urge. You don't want to suppress it. No, you don't. You want to be aware of it. Suppress it is just trying to block it out. I don't feel that. I'm not angry. No. That's not helpful. Oh, you are angry. I am angry. What does that mean? That means that I'm perceiving that I want this relationship. You're not going to give it to me, and you are on the way because you don't want to give me what I want. So I'm going to attack you. No, that's not going to. Attacking your partner is not going to work. So what is it that I need? What is it that would be more constructive? I need to feel respected. Okay, then what's more constructive towards that? Well, letting them know I feel disrespected when this happened. Because I feel a need to feel seen, cared for, contemplated, valued. And I would love for you to tell me these words whenever I feel this way for da-da-da-da. That's a lot more inviting, and that's where we want to go to. So, all the feelings, if you're interested, sadness, they're usually because we sense a loss and the urge is to withdraw, to shut down. Disgust is because we're perceiving something as toxic, and the urge is to reject it. When we do that, we're not being present, we're not being aware, we're not being there for our partner. When we're in shock, it's usually because something unexpected happened. We're perceiving something as unexpected, and the urge is to freeze. So all of these urges is very important to be aware of them, aware of our feelings, and really do the work of naming your feelings. So there's this psychologist called Daniel Siegel, and he's a neuroscientist, and he says that we have our emotional brain and our logical brain, and a lot of people try to shut down their feelings, and that's not very helpful. Like, we really have to learn how to use our whole brain, because feelings are information. They're really, really helpful. But sometimes you just, like, when you're just acting out and you don't put names to your feelings and your needs and your dreams, then you just start acting out your emotions, and you kind of lose control of yourself there. So what's really helpful, he says, name it to tame it. So whenever you're feeling something and you don't know what the hell it is that's bothering you, it's starting to name things. So, okay, I feel sad and hurt when I hear judgments that I'm this or that. You don't want to hear that. You don't want to be hearing that. So I have a need to be seen, because that's what we want. We want people to see us as the human we are, not to be judged. So we have that need to be really seen and understood. And I'd appreciate to be asked with curiosity, why is that I do? Because I want to feel understood. Is that a relationship that you'd like to have with me? Dynamics that you'd like to build with me? It's an invitation, and they can say no. But the first step is just awareness, of just knowing what I need, knowing what I feel, and calming the nervous system down to be effective, to be able to communicate effectively. So, next step is intentional empathy. A lot of people make the mistake of realizing what they need. Okay, this is what I need. Yeah, I want to be, I don't like judgments. I don't like being called stupid and name calling. That's not the life I want to have. I want to feel respected. I want to just hear what you need, what you want. Okay. Yeah, that's what I want. So I just come in, when this happens, da 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 da. I want this, and yeah, it's very tempting to just go and sometimes when the other person is fine, that's okay. But that is the equivalent of just going into the road and just crossing the road without looking both ways, without clicking the cross button. So the next step is actually clicking the cross button. Once we know where we want to go, which is the awareness part, the mindful awareness, once we know where we want to go, we go and click the cross button, and that is the next step. That is intentional. That's being empathetic and very, very intentional about it. So that's why I call it intentional empathy. So when we do that, the other person actually turns toward us. Is hey, I know you're upset about this. You probably felt this. It's making sense of their experience, letting them know that we see them. And whenever the other person is very guarded, it's protecting their pain, it's feeling unsafe, they're not going to hear you out. So whatever you say, I feel, I need, it's going to go to waste if the other person's not willing to hear you out, right? So that's the whole purpose of this. Because what we want in healthy conflict management, we want is a win-win. So if I come to you and I'm telling you, hey, this is my win, how do we work it out? And you're still upset, you don't want to work with me, you don't want to cooperate with me. So it's going to be a longer fight. If I approach you like, hey, I care about you and I want you to win, tell me what a win is for you first. Help me understand you. You're going to be like, oh, okay. Yeah, well, this is what I need. You're going to be a lot more open to cooperate. You're going to know that I got your back, that I have your best interest in mind. So that opens the door for the other person to be a lot more relaxed. It soothes their nervous system too. So they're a lot more able to access their whole brain to be able to solve this conflict a lot more efficiently. So that's the whole purpose of this. If we want to win-win, we need to know what the other person win is. That helps them calm down. That helps them listen. That helps them work with you. And now they're able to listen. Once you see the green light, once you see that they are open to hear you out, you've done a great job communicating their needs, their feelings, their dreams. They're going to be a lot more willing to work with you and get that win-win with you. So that's the whole purpose, right? Get a win-win. That's why we do this. So whenever they say, yeah, that's exactly how I feel, that's the green light. That means that you are able now to share what you need, what you feel, what you dream of, and you're most likely going to be successfully make it across the road without being run over. That doesn't mean that when you say your words, that when you're crossing the street, there's not going to be triggers and dangers, and so you still have to be looking both ways while you cross the street. So whenever it's your turn to speak your truth, and we call it your truth because you feel what you feel, you need what you need, and that's not going to change, and you dream what you dream, that's not going to change. Meaning evolves, boundaries evolve, they do change. Needs, yeah, sometimes you do need more independence, and then you grow and you need less independence. You actually are cool with being more intertwined with someone, or maybe you just need more independence as you grow. So it needs to change, but the amount is what changes. Boundaries, they also change in amount, but the basic need, the human need to be seen, to feel respected, to feel loved, to have playtime even, those needs don't change. And that's what I want to be very clear about, because a lot of couples argue about, you don't need that. And if we're talking about needs for survival, then you don't need a bunch of these things. But here I'm trying to do healthy conflict management. Healthy conflict is about actually thriving in a relationship. In order to thrive, then you need a lot more. Yeah, maybe a plant just needs water and sun, but if you want that plant to thrive, it actually needs attention, it needs to be trimmed, it needs a lot more things depending on the plant that it is, right? So that's the same concept. So after you do the intentional empathy, MI, and they give you the green light, they're open to hear you out. Sometimes even if we're very, very intentional and being empathetic and we understand their point, that doesn't mean agreeing with them, right? It doesn't mean that you have to agree with the other person when you do this. You just see what they see, you understand their pain. It doesn't mean that you agree with what they're doing. You just tell them, like, I really see you, I see you, and I feel you. Now that we've done that job, then it's time for us to speak. The next M, M-I-M, is about giving them our meaning, what this whole thing means for us, what really matters most to us. And that is really how we feel about the situation. When this happens, this is what I feel about it. And what I need, and what I would really love, is an I statement. It's not that I give it the meaning that you're being overreactive. You are, and that's the mistake that a lot of people make, that they think they're sharing their feelings and they're actually sharing their judgments. I feel that you are exaggerating. I feel you didn't da da da. And all those are accusations. All those are judgments. And no one's going to feel open to hear judgments and accusations like, oh yeah. And in reality, when you have a judgment, when you have an accusation to make, it's not true. 100%. It could, maybe it is a fact. Maybe they did put the socks on your computer, right? Maybe they did. You put the socks on my computer. But it's a lot easier to hear, because it's not about them putting the socks on the computer. Some other person might not have an issue with that. You have an issue with that. So I feel respected when my things are cleared. I have a need for order, and I would really appreciate that it stay clear of things, including socks. Would you please not put your socks on my computer? I'm talking about me and my needs and what I need to thrive, to feel happy about us coexisting. I'm not talking about you are wrong about putting those socks on, because, you know, they did put on the socks, you put on the socks in there. But that's a lot easier, harder to hear, number one. Number two, maybe another person is fine with that. It's you that has the issue. And this is my need, and I would really appreciate if I make this as an invitation, as my problem, because it is you have a problem with those socks on. They don't, you do. So if you make it, if you own what's yours to own, if you really take responsibility, about your feelings, about your needs, about what you would like, how you would like to live, then it's a lot easier to hear for the other person. It's a lot easier for the other person to work with you, to be open to work with you and be see like, okay, yeah, sure, I can do that. So you're making your job easier to by just taking full responsibility of your needs, your feelings, and what you would like. So that's why it's very important that we give our meaning and what matters to us. We make it all about us and not them, and not use judgments and not accusations. So the language matters a lot. Got a mosquito on my nose. So really focus on what hurts, what's hurting, what matters most to you, and what you're hoping for. If you can answer those questions, then you're gonna get the right words to share yourself vulnerably. That is just a truth. That's not going to change. So just be mindful of that. And then finally, we got the I, the final I. So M-I. The final I is for an invitation. So a lot of people make the mistake of just approaching their needs like, hey, you know what? I feel very upset about this. And the other person's like, I can maybe tomorrow I can. No, that's not what I want. And then you get upset, and then people, because the other person is just trying to problem solve something that you didn't even ask to problem solve. Maybe you just wanted to be heard, or maybe they're problem solving but they're not even getting you. So how can you problem solve if they're not getting you? So that's because we don't put an invitation out there. We just came in, dumped our feelings on the other person. Hey, I feel this way. And the other person's like, hot potato, what do I do with these feelings? I want to fix them. And people usually try to fix feelings instead of just being like, okay, I'm here with you. I'm here to feel your feelings with you, understand why you feel the way you feel. And then ask, do you want to, what do we do with these feelings? I'm here with you. Do you want to problem solve? I'm willing to be here with you whenever you're ready. And that's usually more constructive, because actually when we have a problem, when we have a conflict, what we want is connection. We do want the problem solved, but the main thing that we want is connection, to feel understood. So that's number one thing, the intentional empathy to each other. So try as much as possible to not just come in and share your truth, share what matters most to you, share your meaning, and then that's it. Because the other person is probably going to totally invalidate you and not know what to do with those feelings. So that's why this last step matters. That's why it's like, okay, would you like to, can we work on a solution for this so it doesn't happen? And then the other person can start problem solving with you. If what you want is to feel validated or understood, then you can share your feelings and at the end make that invitation. Does that make sense to you, baby? Oh, and then they kind of know, okay, they want me to make sense of this. Okay, yeah, it makes sense that you would feel, well, actually what I want is just for you to let me know that you feel what I feel, that you see my perspective. Do you see my perspective? So this is a guide to your heart. You're basically giving them a map and telling them where you want to go. You're extending your heart, your hand now. Some people may not want to grab the hand, and they're like, no, you, and they go against, which is the fight cycle. The fight cycle is going against, no, that's not how things work, instead of trying to understand why you're saying what you're saying, right? Which is turning towards. Or they dismiss you. So they either go against or they dismiss you. You're exaggerating, you're this, that's not, and they turn away from you. So what's not the fighting cycle? What's breaking the pattern is turning towards. And even if it doesn't make any sense, what we're trying to do is we're trying to understand. Okay, that's not okay. Help me understand. I really want to connect with you. How? So you feel this way when this happens? It might be something about childhood. It might be whatever, right? But it's really turning towards our partner. And that's why it's important to put the invitation out there. Now, the I is invite or inform, because sometimes we make a bunch of invitations and the other person is like, I don't care anymore. I'm not going to work with you. I'm not going to work with you. And they're stuck in the fight cycle. They are stuck. But the point is for you to get out of that fight cycle, because you got control of your life if you do not play their game, if you don't play the fight. You will be a lot smarter if you get yourself out of the fight cycle and you just turn towards and you see them. You start, if you extend your hand and they don't want to take it, you repeat this. You repeat the Mimi framework. And the Mimi framework is, I understand. You're aware first, right? That sucks, in that you know that you need something, and you just know that. So you're going to respect your needs. You're going to honor your boundaries, your personal limits. You know that now. And that's where you're going to stand. So now we go into the next I, the empathy part. And you can see, and it makes sense, that they don't want to grab your hand. They don't want to go there with me. I can see that. And it's okay for you, right? Then the next M is your meaning and what matters most to you. And for me, it's really important, very important, that I keep that boundary, that I respect myself. If I do that, I would feel that I'd be disrespecting myself. I can't go there with you. And then the final I, it's not an invitation anymore. It's informing them that we will enforce our boundaries with kindness and firmness. Because again, boundaries, they don't have to be aggressive. They don't have to be harsh. If you do this, I'm going to do that. It doesn't have to be that way. If we do that, then we are falling again for the fight cycle. We are inflicting fear, pressure, guilt. We are fighting. So we step out of that by being kind, at least neutral, and firm, because we know we will honor those boundaries. And we keep that calm by keeping that mindful awareness and keeping our nervous system soothed and calm. So we inform them, and I need to honor that boundary. I need to honor that. So I'll step away whenever I hear judgments. I totally understand. We go back to the Mimi framework. I understand you don't want to change that and you don't feel yourself if you don't use those words. Okay. And I really need to honor my need to feel respected. I don't feel respected when I hear those words. So I will step out when I hear them. Excuse me. And you follow through. See, you don't have to be aggressive. You just have to follow through. Kindly, firmly, consistently. And what matters is that you always communicate your needs, your boundaries, your dream. Whenever you hear boundaries, people feel like it's a wall. It is a wall. But when we communicate them assertively, it's letting people know it doesn't cut relationships unless they do. If they want to cut the relationship, that's fine. But when I am honoring my boundaries, when I'm communicating my boundaries assertively, I'm saying, here's the wall. I can't go there because that would be disrespecting my needs. And I'm very happy to hang out with you here at the bridge. Here's the wall, but here's the bridge. And that's where I'm going to go. And that's where I would love to hang out with you. Would you want to go there with me? That's the invitation. They don't want to. Okay. It's okay. I can understand. I understand that you don't want to go there with me. Wow, that hurts, but still, it is what it is. It's their truth. So I can see that and I understand. And my truth, my needs, my ideal relationship is over there. So that's where I'm going to move. That's where I'm going to go. And you're welcome to hang out with me. It's still inviting. That boundary is still inviting because you're letting them know that you're going to be there and you are happy to hang out with them over there. So I'll go over there and following through. So that's the inform part, but still sounds like an invitation. So to wrap it up, the Mimi framework, mindful awareness, intentional empathy, your meaning and what matters most to you, your truth. I invite and inform them, following through. really, really taking action. So it really is pausing, being aware, pause, turn towards, speak your heart, and lead with love. Lead with love. That's what it is. So just remember, you're gonna fuck it up. You're gonna mess it up. You're gonna forget the steps. And it's not about perfection, it's about practice. Practice, practice. This is the way that I see this is about, it's like pad work, you know, I fight. So this is like pad work. Or, you know, practicing an arm bar, right? You first have to do it very slow and mindfully to kind of like know what the hell you're doing. And then once you get it, you can do it a lot more smoothly. You're gonna forget steps, but the more you do it, the better you'll get, and the better that you will be able to react in the moment. So if you practice the Mimi framework just during a conflict, it's not going to work. You're gonna forget everything. You're gonna react. So this is a practice. Throughout the day, you have to become mindful of your body. Throughout the day, you have to be aware of your partner. Tune in with them. Ask them how they're doing. Check in. Throughout the day, you have to learn how to use that language of I feel, I need, how do you feel, how do you need? Invite them, use the framework every day with every daily interaction, and you will get hella good with it so that you're ready whenever the tension comes. Because the whole thing about this, I'm Commander Mimi, because the whole idea or the whole philosophy is that the only thing that you have control over is not anything else but yourself and your response. And this is the framework in which you discover what really matters to you, and you are able to behave according to your values, to what matters most to you, to the lifestyle that you want to have, to the ideal character that you are building in the relationship dynamics that you want to have. Those are the goals that we're going for. And that's what this framework helps you. If you consistently use it, this is what this framework is going to help you with. And it's going to build a little commander in you. And you will be able to not just react and not just, you know, behave destructively, but actually constantly with every little interaction, be constructive and build that life that you actually do want. So this is your compass, this is a lifestyle, and this is what will help you be the genuine you and live the life that you wanted to live and not the life that everyone else is telling you to live. So to wrap it up, you control the fight if you can master yourself and you can master this framework, okay? And I also wrote a little booklet that you can go check it out. It's a little bit more of a detailed description. It's not too crazy long, but still it's something to just actually have it in writing, and you can print it out. I have a little summary that you can just put it on your fridge or put it in your phone so you can keep on practicing it every day and you will get better at it. Just practice, practice, jab cross, jab cross, jab cross, rotate, rotate, footwork, and you will get so much better at it. So check it out. It's free. I put it in the description, and let me know. Let me know how it feels. Let me know what works for you. Let me know what lands more for you, what feels more true to you, because I appreciate that feedback, really. And feel free to share it. I really believe that if you can make your relationships better, if you learn how to handle conflict constructively, other people learn from you and you will get better relationships. And I believe that, I mean, from my relationship with my husband, truthfully, like my life has gotten so much better, like incredibly better. So remembering the relationships that I had and how I felt and how my life was, to having someone that you can just handle anything with them, having that someone that's always there for you, it changes how you navigate life. So I want my daughters to have that. I want my daughters to be in a world where people know how to approach each other, like, hey, I have this conflict, I have this issue, and people solve each other their conflicts good, with a good heart, instead of you did this, you did da da da, which is the norm right now. So if I can help you with your relationship, one relationship at a time, and you can help someone else, and you can share this booklet to someone, I think, I feel, and I really believe that I'm helping making this world better for my daughters and your children, if you want to have any as well. So that's the goal. So please look at it, share it, and let me know how it feels. Lots of hugs. Please give just share this, put it out there, like it, subscribe, and let me know. Okay, see you next Saturday. Oh, today's Sunday, but you know I moved it one day. Anyways, see you. Commander Mimi out.